Good morning, students. This video is for class 6 science, and today also we will continue with chemistry. Our topic of discussion for today will be conservation of water. Conservation of water, that means saving of water. We should avoid the loss or the wastage of water. The process of saving of water is called conservation. The process of saving the water from being wastage is known as conservation of water. Only a small percentage of water on earth is available for use. Therefore, water should be used judiciously and it should be conserved. We cannot create natural water resources. That means the water present on this earth is huge in quantity, but the water that can be used for your purposes, for your own purpose, is very less in quantity. So we should be very wisely using water. We should be very wise. We should be careful about using the water. We should not waste water, because water, the natural sources of water, cannot be created by human being. It is created by the universe, that God creates natural sources of water. So we should be very wise in using the water that we have. The only way to meet the increasing demand is through judicious use and conservation of the available resources. So the only way where you can meet the requirement of water, as the population are increasing day by day. So we should be very wise in using, in the sense we should use that amount, that quantity of water which is actually required by us, and we should try to save water for our future use. So conservation is avoiding the wastage or loss of water of the loss of the importance and precious resources necessary for future use. So what do you mean by conservation? Conservation means to avoid the wastage or loss of water which is actually very important, which is actually very precious for our future. Suppose if there were no water, life wouldn't be possible. So we should learn to save water, and we should learn to use water about we should learn to use water carefully, so that there is no wastage of water. One of the best method to conserve water is by minimal use of water at home. So one of the best method to save water is to use water, is to minimize our uses of water. That means the quantity that is required, we should use that much only. We shouldn't use unnecessarily and start wasting of water. Following are the ways by which wastage of water can be avoided at home. So what are the ways? Let us see. Number 1, bath using water in a bucket and avoid using the shower or bathtub. This will save water, since using a shower or bathtub consumes a large amount of water. So we should use bucket, so that we should take water in a bucket and use for bathing. Because whenever you use the shower or whenever you use the bathtub, it requires large amount of water, and then most of the water are wasted. And if you take water in a bucket, you will know that this much water is there and you can use it wisely. It is not that you have large quantity of water so that you can waste it, because that will create a problem for your future use. Next, turn off the water tap when not in use, especially while brushing your teeth. This is a habit that most of the human beings have. Whenever they brush their teeth early in the morning or maybe in the night before going off to sleep, they brush. While they brush, they keep the tap open. So we shouldn't keep the tap open, not only while brushing but for any time when the water is not being used. Take water in bucket and use a mug for watering the plant instead of using a hose to avoid excessive use of water. Always try to always take water in a bucket and take a mug, so that you can plant the water, instead of using a pipe which flows lot of water and most of the water is wastage. Fix leaking taps and pipes. Leaking taps are one of the main causes of water wastage at home. So whenever there is a leaking of the taps, fix it as soon as possible. because maybe we are busy in doing our own work, but the leakage of the tap keeps on flowing. The water keeps on flowing from the leakage of the tap, so that water is being wasted. So whenever there is a leakage in the taps, we should fix it immediately so that water doesn't get wasted. A lot of next a lot of these were the methods, these were the ways by which we can save water in the house, because these are the activities that are actually carried out in the house, so we should save water in this processes. Next, a lot of rainwater goes into drain during the rainy season. This water can be conserved for future uses or to replenish the groundwater level by the method of rainwater harvesting. So when there is a rainfall, lot of water, not lot of water, but almost all the water that comes as rain is wasted by flowing away. So we should conserve, we should try to save this water so that at least we can use it for some other purposes apart from our household purpose. And this can be done by rainwater harvesting. What do you mean by rainwater harvesting? Rainwater harvesting is digging a large area for saving water, connecting a pipe right from the rooftop, and then making a dugout so that the water flows from the pipe from the rooftop, and the water gets collected in that particular area where you have either maybe you have kept a tank, or maybe dug a place, so that that water can be at least used for your washing purpose, your agricultural purpose. Rainwater is collected from the rooftop through pipes and allowed to flow into a tank containing sand and gravel to filter the water. So you make a tank either in the soil, or you keep a tank which contains gravel and gravel and sand. And when this water falls on the tank, the gravel and the sand actually filters the water, so that water can be used for your purposes. This water is then allowed to percolate through the soil. That means to get absorbed in the soil. This recharges the water level that declines due to excessive usage of groundwater. Another method is collecting rainwater through pipes in a tank and using it for washing purpose at homes. So this rainwater harvesting is digging a place and making a place where water can be collected. So when this water when this rainwater comes through the pipe and reaches the dugout where we should keep gravel and sand, so that any impurities gets collected in that, and the pure water gets percolates, means goes deep into the soil, and they increase the level of groundwater. Another method what we can do is that we can collect this water in a tank, and that water can be at least used for your washing purpose, washing your house, cleaning your house, or washing your clothes, or maybe some planting, giving water to the plant, etc. Another simple but effective method to reduce the uses of water is by recycling the wastewater from industries. So one more method we can do is that the wastewater that comes out from industries, we can recycle it, and then after recycling it, after retreating it, after recleaning it, we can use that water. Next, proper storage, management and distribution of water from sources such as river and lakes should be undertaken by constructing dams and reservoirs and pipelines. So we should create proper storage of water. If we do not create a proper storage like dams, reservoir and so on, then there will be a lot of wastage of water. So we should maintain, the government should at least maintain that proper storage of water should be done, so that water can be stored and they can be used in future. Next, drip irrigation in the agricultural land can save a lot of water. In the drip irrigation method, crops and plants are given sufficient amount of water without any wastage. In the last class, I have explained you what is drip irrigation. So if there is drip irrigation, so every plant gets sufficient amount of water, and in this way we actually save water. instead of just flowing water, instead of just giving away water where lot of water is being wasted, if we make drip irrigation method so that every plant gets sufficient required amount of water, then there will be a very less wastage of water. In fact, there will be no wastage of water, and by this way we can save water. Last is planting trees and increasing the forest cover would lead to good rainfall and less pollution. So this is very common method, planting more and more trees and making an area of large number of trees, that will actually create good condition for rainfall, and it will also decrease pollution. So these are the methods by which we can conserve water. There are some methods, there are some there are some methods to be followed in the house which can save water, and there are some methods which should be followed by everyone, even the government, to save water, so that we don't feel the scarcity of water in our future. So children, I hope all of you have understood this. Please go through the whole chapter and then try to find out the multiple choice, that choose the correct answer, fill in the blank, short type answers, so that we can whenever I send the answers, you all can match, and then you all can find out how many answers you all have got correct. So children, for today up to this much. Thank you, class.